It's fucking strange. These Australian niggas put this
We
shit
should be back on.
All right.
I don't know if this shit just
I don't know how to
connects.
test it.
It says we're still streaming.
Does it?
So
I heard a female say something.
there's a female talking.
Did she say that we're not? Let's watch live now, comfortably poor live. I think we're back on. I just saw it go across.
No, it's on.
Yeah, we're good. I think we're good.
It should be back on. So,
but yeah, nah, bro, that's wild. But no, 9 Inch Nail. There's a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. This is the thing that gets me. Like, talent is such something like people. And here's the thing. There are different types of people, and different types of people value all different types of talent. So, like, I think if Biggie was able, and here's the thing, I don't know if he could have, bro. A lot of people, he might have pooped out around 2005. He might have said, 2000. Can you hear me? Am I all right?
Yeah. You're good.
Yeah. He might have said, 2008 might have been like, this is my last album, bro. I don't like the direction this shit is going. Like, it could have been. We don't know. It's just so hard to fucking say what coulda, woulda happened. But one thing's for sure, Christopher Rios would have fucking passed away because that nigga would have kept eating.
Yeah,
that was fucked up.
Christopher Wallace.
Yeah. No, I'm shitting on Big Pun.
Chris Wallace.
No, I was shitting on Big Pun. I diverted.
My man Christopher Rios.
Because I was like, because that nigga would have kept eating. Yeah.
That nigga just did not care. It's it's like
So
we
that's
talk about
another
Wayne
guy.
not
That's
caring
though.
about life. Like
Big Pun
Wayne,
just
we've
put out
seen
some
Wayne go
bangers.
through some shit.
No, we seen niggas go through some shit, bro. Like, and no question, Adam Pun could put out some bangers. That's why, dude, he put out one album while he was alive, 2 albums while he was alive, one posthumously. The first one was amazing. The second one was like, what the fuck? But it carried from the first one, and the third one people got because the first one, not because of the second one. Like, that's what he did. But that it's just like Dan just said. He was one of those people who didn't care about himself enough to he tried, but what was more important was eating. Like, he really just wanted to eat. Like, I've never heard a story like that, bro. This man died at 698 pounds. Like, if you ever get a chance, go watch Big Pun: The Legacy, and listen to Lizaria
Now
talk about
I'll tell you this:
how he passed away and shit.
They have Angie Martinez is doing this TV show called Untold Stories of Hip Hop.
Yeah.
And she just had Fat Joe on the second episode.
Cartagena.
And he tells a story about the time that he went over to Pun House and they had mad food. Right? Like, anything you wanted, anything you could think of. Any fucking fast food.
Tacos,
you
pizza,
could fucking think
burgers,
of everything.
Fries,
and
loaded
he fucking
fries.
started screaming at him. Fat Joe started screaming at him like, yo, you're gonna fucking die. You're gonna fucking die, man. And it was...
But Fat Joe's not no skinny motherfucker either, though.
No, that nigga lost mad weight though. That nigga looks like a totally different person now.
Like, Fat Joe is not Fat Joe anymore.
He did.
See, that's the thing.
Joe is not. Fat Joe is really Joey Crack now.
He's really Joey Crack. Yeah, he's really Joey the Don. He's not Fat Joe. And here's the thing about Fat Joe. Even when Fat Joe was Fat Joe did not compare to Big Pun, right? Looking at Fat Joe standing next to Big Pun is like a statue of Buddha next to the Statue of Liberty. Like, this nigga was big, but Big Pun was massive.
That nigga died at what? 6 something, right?
698 pounds. Almost 700 pounds, bro. 700.
Come on, man.
Have you? Dude,
I want to go back to Biggie real quick. I want to go back to Biggie and Pac real quick.
Because I could talk about Pun for a while, bro. Like,
what do you guys think? I know it's all speculation, but what do you think knowing what their effect on hip hop had after they passed and the music that was put out on their behalf when they passed, what do you think their influence would have been like on hip hop today if they were still alive and making
And
music
rapping?
or influencing music or mentoring these young cats coming up? Like, do you think we would still have this trap? Do you think trap would be what it is
Yes.
today?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't think.
but I think
Do you
Tupac
think
probably
boom
would
bap
probably
and
hop
that
on
whole
it.
West Coast melodic sound would be more, or do you think it'd still be right where it is? Like, what do you guys think?
Pac would have discovered the Kendricks and the guys from the West Coast.
Yeah,
And he would have put them on, and he would have put them in a different direction. I really believe that the person that works behind you really has something to do with the direction that you go in. And I think the hand that Dre had in Kendrick's career is not the same hand that Pac would have had, but I think he would have been discoverable had these things went the same way. Pac, so I think Pac would have flourished as an A&R and as a mentor.
Right.
I think Biggie would have been an incredible ghostwriter.
Okay.
Biggie, the thing that I love about Biggie, and I always say, people always try to ask me Biggie or Pac, and it's hard to say because they both serve two different purposes. Pac gave me life joints. Pac gave me party joints. Pac gave me everything. But
yeah, mama.
Biggie gave me party joints and shit that I could like fucking dance with bitches to, and he knew how to craft a hit song. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew how to like Big and Pac is like I'm Big and Brando's Pac. You see what I'm saying? Like he was the poetic guy, and Big just knew how to make a fucking hit record.
But whenever that topic comes up, Biggie or Pac, to me it's not. Well, it's exactly what Dan said. But if someone has to, pick one, because that's what people want you to do. That's really what they want you to do. They don't want to hear the truth, because the truth is exactly what Dan just said. But when people force you to pick one, it's not even a question. It's always Biggie for me. Like, that's who I listen to. I don't really listen to a lot of Pac. If I listen to Pac, I'm listening to a very specific song from Pac for a very specific
But you both
reason.
are more Midwest, Northeast cats. Like, that's...
Right.
I'm an East Coast kid.
Right? Like, that's...
Yeah, I was influenced more. I was definitely influenced.
I'm a Earl Simmons. I'm a Earl.
While I take hits off the marijuana smoke.
I'm a
he's going into
Just
rehab
Blaze
right now.
fan.
He just checked himself back into rehab.
That nigga's in and out of rehab.
See, he's going
more
on
than
tour
Raekwon is in and out of jail.
if he can get out of rehab, he's going on tour with Bone Thugs and
If he can get out, yeah. If he can get out.
who was it? Bone Thugs and somebody else?
That nigga started
that's a
crying on-
fire ass show.
Did y'all
Juicy
see that
J.
nigga crying on
3 6
stage?
Mafia.
Yeah. Bro,
That
I would
nigga's
pay money to
always
go to
doing
that
some
fucking
shit,
concert.
man.
Me too.
Uh,
You know there's gonna be mass
36
strippers there, right?
Mafia, DMX and Bone Thugs? Yeah, come on.
Yeah, there's gonna be
Come
mass
on.
strippers there. Like stupid strippers.
Yeah.
It's gonna be mad.
There's
cocaine,
gonna be
man.
booty everywhere. But it's gonna be old booty. It's gonna be like old 1995 booty.
It's alright. I'll take it. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It comes.
It's not gonna be
gets
this
ripe
young-
with age.
this young tight ass.
I feel like, hey, yo, but you know what? I will say this. I think if Biggie was around, I don't know if people like. I don't know if Joe Budden would have retired. I think Redman would have kept making I think he would have been more in the spotlight. I think a lot of the people who are East Coast who we don't hear a lot from would have been more out there than they are. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I think the decline in music, and this is, it goes to show how we really will never know the answer, because had Biggie stayed around, had Pun been alive, had Black Rob and Shine not go to jail, okay?
had Big L stayed in the house.
Facts. If Big L stayed in the house and shut the fuck up just for a day. Just for a day.
Just please, just stay in the goddamn house and shut the fuck up.
If if these guys were around, would have the New York sound died out so that the South could take over? And that's the real question that we'll never know the answer to, because the South really started taking over in around 2003, 2004. Atlanta started running everything. And then we were still getting stuff out of, New Orleans.
That's when I died.
Cash Money and Birdman and all that shit. And I'm telling you right now,
stunned like
we
my daddy.
Have no answer to say whether the New York scene, the New York hip hop scene, would have stayed alive had Biggie stayed with us, or these guys stayed with us. Because that's what happened. The New York sound just went dead. We had Dipset and went snooze. Them Franchise Boys, Paul Wall, fucking T.I., Gucci Mane, Young Jeezy. All these niggas from the South just started popping up out of nowhere.
Speaking of T.I., have you guys seen that new show on Netflix yet, Rhythm and Flow?
Nope. I haven't seen it, but I have seen his...
Good, it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
I have seen... I did see his interview with Charlamagne, Chance, and T.I. You know what I learned about...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
By watching that interview, you know what I fucking learned about Tech 9?
Tech Nina.
Tech 9. This is on some other independent baller shit.
He's a boss.
Tech 9 owns one of the biggest companies that rents out the tour buses to celebrities.
Really?
That's one of his other grinds, my nigga. Oh my God.
I knew he's smart. He's hella smart. I knew he was an entrepreneur too. Like, he's big into tech too. Like, the whole, outside of his name Tech, but like, he's big into the tech industry. Like, he's a big supporter
he's
of
in the Midwest. Yes.
IT and shit.
Good man.
That's some other type of grind though, bro.
That's excellent. Hey, you know what? It's funny you sent it through, but I never got a chance to watch it. Mainly because I'm a fucking nerd, and I the rap stuff I really have to work it in. But that Jim Jones shit, I didn't get a chance to watch that. What happened? Was that interesting?
No! I mean, he didn't say anything.
It was kind of corny, really. He showed up at the Breakfast Club, and he was like with a business partner or something. Like, I don't know, but no,
it was whack.
I turned it off.
And then he also talked about the.
He said I turned it off.
He talked about the foreclosures. He was like, no big deal. Just didn't want to pay what the house wasn't worth. He was like, there's several other houses. What's the big issue?
Yeah, but that Rhythm and Flow is pretty dope. They're through 4 episodes so far. It's basically rap.
Okay.
American Idol. It's rap American Idol, but it's raw. It's unfiltered and shit. But the thing that I didn't, I don't know, but so they go each went to their own city. T.I. went to Atlanta, Cardi went to New York, and Chance went to Chicago. And they bring in guest judges, and they bring in all these people to come audition. They get to decide who goes on to the next level, whatever. They passed along some people that were fucking garbage, whack rappers. And the other thing that I picked up on watching this is like, why does everybody just want to be a fast rapper like that? Like, half these fucking cats coming up on the stage just want to spit bars as fast as possible, and that's what some of the guest judges were saying. Like, I don't want to spoil nothing, so I won't say too many names, but the guest judges were like, that's, you got bars, but I can't understand a goddamn thing you're saying. Like, enunciate, motherfucker. Like, you need to be able to, if you want to spit fast, you gotta enunciate.
Exactly. If you're going to spit fast, you got to say the fucking words. Don't just make noises.
Yeah. So it was interesting. I definitely recommend it. Check it out. It's pretty good, and it's cool. Netflix is doing it like a real TV show. Like, a new episode drops every Wednesday, so it's not, you can't really binge watch it. Which
wow, good for them,
kind of smart. They're gonna get more views that way, I think. So Yeah, Rhythm and Flow. Check it out. It was kind of cool. It was good. Not too shabby. 442-244-9900. Hit us up if there's anything that you want to talk about. We talk about food, fast food, music, all that kind of good shit. Or toll free.
Which one of you motherfuckers?
997-0775.
What now? Which one of you motherfuckers had stuff for us to react to?
For what?
He's still over
for
there.
us.
He forgot what you said.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Audio for us to react to.
Oh, well, I didn't pull any audio, but I couldn't. But I do have some stories that I want to bring up to you guys.
Well, can I start with the first story about the Kentucky guy who's like anti-homosexual, who's totally.
We're about to get deep, people.
We're about to get deep in this bitch.
It's gonna get deep.
442-244-9900.
It's gonna get deep, but I really feel like we should shit on him later because it is kind of funny that people who are just so anti-gay, you just can't do this, you can't do that. They always get caught for some shit like this. So a Kentucky school teacher who was very instrumental in making sure that books that he says promoted homosexuality were outlawed and, not outlawed, but you know what I mean, not allowed, made against the rules, if you will. And his school was busted for not only having 15 counts of possession of child pornography, but 15 counts of distribution of child pornography throughout his county. Now, here's the ironic part. This guy was busted back in 2009 for some questionable behavior. Adam, do you have the story? Or do you want me to pop it up?
I don't have it, but I mean, are you looking for some specifics? I can look.
There's nothing specific.
Wasn't Kentucky the one where when they passed gay marriage, it was the court lady was going viral a couple years ago because she was refusing to give out marriage licenses and shit and.
Yeah,
I feel like it was Kentucky. Kentucky, that crazy lady. She was like
Kimberly. I think
they took a bunch of videos of her.
Yeah, exactly. This guy is looking at some serious fucking shit. Now, I don't know how serious it's actually going to be because it seems like a lot of these motherfuckers get away with this shit. But he might have to register as an offender. And I don't think he's going to be able to be around children anymore, which I think is kind of interesting that he was a fucking school teacher. You know what I'm saying? A fucking school teacher, but it is what it is, a fucking school teacher. Now, he touted the Bible a lot, apparently, Homosexual's wrong. It's against
like
God.
Everyone does in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like everyone does.
The wildest shit. The wildest fucking shit, bro. And I just think it's so fucking wild. Anytime, look, this is getting to the point where I think that anytime you are, and I hate saying this because I know for a fact that there are people who are very much against the LGBT community, who are not, pedophiles or pederasts or anything like this. But it just seems like people who, it happens so often, almost religiously, every time there's a person who's anti this and anti that, he ends up or she ends up coming out later. It gets found out that they're either a pedophile or that they're homosexual, like they're gay themselves, or some other really relevant parallel shit.
It just so happens that it happens to be in the same parts of the country
Preach, bro.
that have a very similar belief system.
Do not ever put that on my part of the country again, G. That is not the Midwest. Fuck you and that bullshit. Kentucky is the South. That is the South. I'm sorry, but regions matter. At some point, you do cross the line. So pretty much, this is what it is. The Mason-Dixon line runs between what were slave states and what were free states. Now, the geographical location might look a certain way, but Kentucky is in the South. Arkansas is in the South. Technically, Missouri looks like it's in the South, but it's technically a Midwestern state. But it's technically
Midwest, yeah.
Yeah. The KKK has a base in Missouri, but there's more KKK members in Kentucky than I think anywhere else, which I've always found pretty hilarious.
Kentucky and Tennessee. Those two states have the highest population of KKK members.
It's wild. It's wild, bro. And why are and just like you said, dude? Why are most of these people coming out of Kentucky? Why are most of these people coming out of Mississippi, Alabama,
with the
Georgia
same belief system?
Angry state.
With the same fucking belief system. God damn it!
It's a mind fuck.
It's amazing, and that's the thing.
It's fucking crazy, G.
Hey, by the way, an update to the story that we talked about months ago. You remember when the Cardinals got busted?
Oh yeah.
Of Poe Frankie?
Pope.
He's got some new Cardinals, bro. He's got some new Cardinals, my G.
He's got some new Cardinals. He got some new shit. Okay.
Got some new niggas, man.
Got some new
niggas to run some trains through, dog. Yeah, man.
More drug-fueled orgies, you know.
Woo!
More Klonopin and cocaine.
Here it comes, baby.
More ecstasy up the asshole. Yo, listen, I don't know why they think because you're a priest, all of your sex drive goes away. Look, these guys, they're in Italy. They're in fucking Italy, dude. Do you know how many fucking hot fucking fashion models are in fucking Italy? These niggas are in fucking Italy right now, pretending to not want to fuck women and
fat asses, and tight pussies,
big ass titties, models,
big ass fucking titty, Mundo titties. You really turning down the bitch saying fucking, oh, come on, man.
Mundo.
Nigga.
You stupid as fuck, G.
Nigga.
Shit. Now, there is another story I wanted to... Oh, am I breaking up?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. There is one other story. The lady who... ate her husband and about 3 other people. The Russian chick who was living in London. Now,
go figure.
This
wait,
burly lady.
Yes, the cannibalistic.
This bitch came in like a bear. This bitch came in like a fucking bear. She probably broke through a window to get to them too. Hold on a minute.
Cannibalistic fucking grandmother, bro.
That's some.
She came in like a grizzly bear.
So it says here that she said that the act of her last victim, she ate her friend. Actually, the last person she ate was a close friend of hers.
That's just good love.
What the fuck?
Care about her.
That was it, bro. She ate her friend. 68-year-old it says here 68-year-old grandma arrested after remains of friends
eating up to 30 people. This story came out last year. This is amazing. Cannibal wife suspected
killed and ate 14
up to 30 people.
30? Is it 30? Okay, I guess that's suspected. She suspected.
That's suspected,
it's a 14 confirmed.
Yeah. God damn.
I mean, that is some wild. And so she says she's ready to be, you know what I'm saying? She's ready to be convicted. She wants to be rightfully prosecuted, quote unquote. Whatever the fuck that means.
So then, what's she doing for the fame?
She did this on purpose, or she meant to be. She ate people.
Did she want to see how long she could go without getting caught?
Hey, what do you think the morning after shit's like after you eat some people? You think it's like super?
That's a good ass question.
That's a great question.
What
I don't know.
What is the thought
we
process
process it
after
fast?
you eat some people? I wouldn't. Like shit. She's been named the Granny Reaper. Grandmas may have funky smells, sure.
Reaper.
But I think it's safe to say that nobody fears them. Motherfucking. Old women
Granny got them people
seen
farts.
as being completely harmless.
He said, I got the people farts.
The Russian grandmother was arrested. She was arrested this week. Oh, this is back a few years ago. I think I want to say 2015, actually. This is a few years ago. But anyway, it doesn't make the shit less sensationalistic. I mean, she was arrested for the murder of her 79-year-old friend after she was caught on CCTV camera that showed her hauling the elderly woman's remains in a plastic bag in a park.
Damn. There are some
in a park, no
fucked up,
less.
crazy people, man.
The law enforcement eventually found the rest of her remains in a nearby pond.
And you know what's crazy?
But that's
is,
only
like, this is one person that got caught, but
how many? Yeah,
how many people out there that are still doing this that haven't been caught yet? I bet that number is like higher than we think it is.
We're never gonna know, but it's like every decade needs their fucking Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, it took the words out.
Yeah. Like every fucking decade, every decade needs their fucking shit. Like, do you guys remember the killer clowns that were out a couple years ago around?
That was just like last
Halloween?
year or 2 years ago, like in Virginia or West Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clowns,
and
yeah.
then
That's
people
good.
started doing what do they call that when like copycat? People started copycat shit all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the John Wayne Gacy shit. The John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, that's the John Wayne Gacy shit. Like, we don't have a Ted Bundy shit, but I'm telling you right now.
How do you know?
But maybe we don't know yet. Maybe we don't know yet. When these people got found out, it was 20 years they had been doing crimes already.
Speaking of crazy people, too, along the same line, do you guys remember the story? It came out, like, I think it's been about 2 years now, maybe 3 years, 2 or 3 years. The family in California, they kept their, 10 kids locked up in the basement. Do you guys know about this?
Yeah. It sounds familiar, but
Yes,
I can't place it.
Yeah, there's another story that just came out recently. So real quick, just recapping the family. It was a mom and dad, and they lived in suburbia, somewhere in California. Like apparently you wouldn't even have known. Like the mom and dad was a little bit weird, but they had 10 kids, and they all ranged from 5 to 26 or something.
What?
And they had locked them up in the basement and had
they wouldn't
barely any
feed
food.
them. They wouldn't bathe them.
The 26-year-old had the mental capacity of an 8-year-old, but there was nothing wrong with him. He wasn't disabled or anything. He just didn't learn. And they got found out because eventually one of the girls finally climbed out. Like she had some sort of realization and got help. But there was a story that came out, I think this week though, about a similar, kind of similar, but not really. A dad locked his whole family in a bunker under their house for the past 9 years because in 2010 he believed that the world was coming to an end. So he took his whole family and locked them in a bunker, and they never came out. No windows, no light, no nothing. They never came out for 9 fucking years. And then finally, I guess he got sick. He got bedridden. So one of the kids came out and was to go get help. And that motherfucker came out and was like, this motherfucker here lied to us. The fucking city
the world isn't over.
Look at this.
Where's the Russians? This shit is where the fuck are the Russians? God damn it, the fucking Russians. Where are they?
Yo,
people
it's so funny.
Crazy, man.
That shit reminds me.
Do crazy shit.
Yeah. I can't.
That reminds me so
way
much
to
of
hell.
fucking South Park and the it was the episode when Cartman puts Butters into a bomb shelter.
Oh yeah.
And acts like a meteor hits the earth.
The earth, yeah. and
And
fucking
all it
Butters
was
comes out the next day
All
or
it was
some
was
shit.
he wants to go to Casa Bonita, so he's trying to hide for Kyle's birthday. So he's trying to hide Butters because he wasn't gonna take Cartman. So Cartman was like, "How can I get Butters the fuck out of here?" And that shit just reminds me of that. Like the family literally just pulled that on their kids. They pulled a Butters.
Yeah,
The world ended, bitch. We're the only
9
motherfuckers
years
here.
ago. 9 years ago, nigga. Yeah, the world ended 9 fucking. The world ended when Odd Future was a thing. Back when Tyler wasn't gay. Like that's wild to think. Like holy. Wait. So time out.
But
the world literally
as
ended
kids,
back when we were still
and
in
again,
Iraq.
This was a family that had kids like 10 to 24 years old when they came out.
All of them? So
yeah.
So
Yeah.
so did the guy kill his dad? What happened? Like
No.
So the dad
He
got
just
sick.
outed
That's
them.
how they got out. The dad got
That's how they
sick,
got
so
out.
one of the kids went out to go get help. But can you what does your parents have to tell you as, let's say, a 14-year-old that we're gonna go down here in this bunker and lock ourselves in there and stay there? Bro, I'm leaving the next day. I'm going out 2 hours. I'm not staying down there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but if you don't know,
How do
if you don't know
get convinced to
anything
stay there?
else, Adam, though, if you don't know anything else from when you were born, you don't think to go out. We thought to go out because we were like, yo, you ain't gonna leave us in this house.
But I'm saying,
Bro, I
some
don't care-
of
I
these
don't care
kids
if you
were
got
already 14
radioactive
years old
people
and
out there or
living
not.
outside. Like,
right, no, but my whole thing is I get all that. My whole thing is what happens once the guy got out? Like what did he do? Who did he what's been happening since they've been out?
I don't know. It just happened like this week, I think. So I don't think there's a lot of details out yet. Like,
Hey, quick
Wait, this is a
when he
newer
got help,
story.
I guess, for his dad.
Whoa. Back up. You weren't telling the story from several
No, this
years
wasn't
ago
from a couple years ago. The California story was from a couple years ago. This story
No,
is
That's
I'm
new.
what I'm
sorry.
saying.
This
I
was
know the
two
California-
stories. I was just comparing the two. The
But
California
I know
story,
the California story. That's why I'm
those
saying
parents are in jail.
this is
They
pretty
got
much a
arrested.
new situation of it.
Yeah, they just came out this week. Yeah, a family,
Holy
a dad
fuck.
convinced his family to go
2010.
into the bunker,
In 2010.
and they've been locked down there for 9 years. But that's what I'm saying. So some of these kids were 12, 13, 14 years old at the time when they
Gee,
went
these niggas
down.
are old enough to drink now, bro. They're gonna be alcoholics, bro. Somebody better not make sure they get some help. They need some serious like Phil McGraw.
That's gonna be a lot of therapy, my
That's
man.
gonna be.
Well, that's what
therapy,
they said
bro.
about the California kids. Like, those California kids are still dealing with some, like, the mental anguish from that shit. Like,
They're gonna be dealing with that shit for the rest of their
younger ones are
Do you
lives.
guys
nigga.
remember the guy that this is not the same thing, but the guy that had kept the women in the basement in
Ariel
in
Castro.
cages and shit in Ohio?
Ariel Castro.
Yes, sir. And then
The guy-
there was the
he ended up-
fucking
he ended up
neighbor
hanging
that saw
himself
the little
later.
girl, saw the youngest girl out of all of them. And that was
Gina
a crazy
DeJesus,
fucking
Who
story.
else?
Michelle
Gina
something.
DeJesus, Michelle
And
Knight and
Amanda-
Amanda Berry. Amanda Berry.
Berry. That's correct. Amanda Berry.
and what that
Man,
story
I'll
was,
never
what, he
forget
left
those
for the
little
day or
girls.
something. Like,
I'll
he
never
left to go
forget
to the
that shit
store.
either.
and
He left
one
for
of
the
them got out,
day.
right?
Yeah, and the little girl came to the window and the next door neighbor saw, and this guy was like a super normal dude. Like, he had motorcycles in the back. He used to fucking have cookouts.
Wasn't the nigga a fucking bus driver?
The nigga was a bus driver, bro.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But I think it's fuck, dude. That guy was bound to hang himself. How was he not on suicide watch? Is my
Oh
question.
my God, right?
Okay, so now we're talking about that. Like, do you guys really think suicide watch is such a thing? See, I want to talk about this. I think we were talking about Jeffrey Epstein when we did some recording, but like,
what are you talking about when you say a thing? Like,
if you're in prison for some fucked up shit and they say, oh, well, this person needs to be on suicide watch, you don't think there's more of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge? Okay, sure. And they just let that fucker do whatever he thinks he needs to do?
okay. I think there's a such thing because I think Suicide
there's
Watch
somewhat of a watch.
People.
I don't think there's like this 24/7 watch, but I think there's somewhat of a watch because they don't want to be responsible.
Here's the thing. There's a couple of things that people need to consider. First off, it depends on who the person is. Like, if you're guilty of doing some shit that they want to fucking keep you around for, they're not gonna let you die. Like, if the United States, first off, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're for the perfect example. I hate to say stuff like this, especially considering what we're talking about, but those girls didn't warrant them keeping Ariel Castro alive. Now, had that guy done something federally offensive, like where the FBI wanted him, or something that was that the U.S. government can alive, there's nothing that would have killed him. But they didn't take it seriously. It was just he's just a fucking rapist. This guy he held people hostage. Fuck him, dude. He's not about to do anything anyway. That's the sort of process. And so they were lackadaisical with it. They were lax, and they just kind of let it just slide, and that's what he ended up doing. But see, Suicide Watch has caught quite a few people who have, their mattress up so they could hang themselves, or putting handcuffs around their fucking wrist to try to do something circulatory.
But what was the extent of their crime? I'm talking for people who have done more serious crimes.
Yeah, I think it depends.
See, I think the people who are like child molesters and rapists and shit like that, and have done some pretty heinous shit, I think the Suicide Watch is like we got a boss, sure, we'll get on it, yep, we'll keep an eye on him, stuff like that. I don't know.
I think it's true. I think it's possible. I mean, I'm not saying stuff like that doesn't happen. I'm sure it does. It's just
for sure.
You
think that was the case with the Jeffrey Epstein thing, or do you think that was like a legit oops, we forgot to check on him?
I don't. Jeffrey Epstein is something that just rattles bells. I don't know the whole story. I know he killed himself, but what did he do? Like, what was his shtick? Like, what did he?
You don't know the story about him?
I mean, I probably do, but
he was
a pedophile.
He was known. He was
running pedophile
kind of like
shit.
sex trafficking shit and rape type shit with people,
okay.
but like little girls back
in
the day.
He was connected to like high profile people. Like, he was connected to people in Hollywood. He was connected to the Clintons. He was just connected to just.
He's probably the type of guy who had to die. He's probably the type of dude who had to die.
That's what I'm saying. Like, with people like, you know what though? See, I don't know if they put him on Suicide Watch, but I know they were watching him highly. I was living in Colorado when Jared Fogle got arrested, and he was
Subway guy.
He was
Subway
guy.
Yeah,
Subway man.
Okay.
And he was in the jail near me. I was living near the jail that he was at, right? Now there was a story that got fucked up in jail. And they weren't looking. They weren't looking out. And I was thinking to myself, like, that nigga had child porn. Why would you look out for him? But they separated the fight. But he got fucked up by a fucking inmate in there, dog. Like, he got fucked up.
Now, let's.
You know where he ended up going? You know where he's serving the rest of his time at?
Where?
He's serving the rest of his time at Wabash. Wabash is a prison in Indiana. It's one of the most notorious, like, maximum security. They send some of the most, like, notorious people to Wabash prison.
Is that where they've done a lot of the, like, because I saw a documentary on niggas on death row from Indiana.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm sure it's probably from that jail.
Yep. A
So
lot of
he's
stuff
there
that you see
now,
when you
huh?
see those things online and on like Netflix, like the prison documentary type shit on Netflix and stuff. It's a lot of it they do at Wabash.
Hey yo, but you know something that's interesting. When it comes to prisons and shit, like a lot of the people who you would like, perfect example, like Ted Kaczynski. That nigga's in Colorado. You know what I'm saying? Like Ted Kaczynski, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. That nigga's in Colorado.
Who's that guy?
Like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the guy who was behind like he didn't do like 9/11, but he pretty much masterminded it. You know what I mean? He didn't blow up children's school in Pakistan, but he pretty much masterminded it.
He wasn't Muhammad Atta, but he was definitely working very closely.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that sort of guy. Like the guy who they torture the guys to get to. Yeah. You know, Muammar Gaddafi's sort of lieutenant tour the guy. He wasn't actually that on that sort of level. You know what I'm saying? Those sorts of guys, like a lot of those guys, they don't do violent crimes themselves, but you keep them locked away because it's not their muscles and their bronze, you know, their brawn, their brawn. Like, it's their mind.
It's the information.
The brains on these motherfuckers, dude. Like, the IQ, like Ted Kaczynski, perfect example. This nigga's, he was doing math, he was teaching and doing math and science at universities while blowing up bombs and airplanes. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
didn't they die? Didn't he die? Didn't he get the death penalty?
Death penalty. I feel like he didn't actually. Either way, when he was alive, if he's dead now, his IQ is about 160 something, or was about 160 something. That's the first thing. Another thing too, when it comes to people like Jared Fogle and shit like that, let's remember, Jeffrey Dahmer died in prison because of shit like that. You know, raping people is not something that humanity looks at very nicely. So, if you're a dude like Jeffrey Dahmer, you're in prison, bro. You need to watch your ass, literally, and you need to watch your neck.
Tighten up, sweet cheeks.
Man, yeah, shit, bro. No Vaseline.
Yeah. For real, just a little spit. Yikes.
I told you guys about.
People are crazy, man. People are fucking lunatics.
I told you about the convict videos, what they were saying about people, right? About the convict videos, about watching like what they about inmates who get fucked in prison and shit, like inmate convict stories and convict.
I mean, that's not the porn I'm into, but go ahead and tell us all about it.
He said it's not the porn. Yeah, listen,
there are people who are able to watch rape porn,
prison
and
porn.
Some who can't.
Prison ass porn. Come on,
bro. But
let me get all your prison ass porn. I appreciate it.
It's one of those things, like it's eating carrots, and then you click 17 videos later. How the fuck did I get here? But see,
the rabbit holes. Yeah.
Well, exactly. And the whole thing is, you think it's hip hop. When you're looking at this is part of the reason why I have a problem with like a lot of hip hop these days. Like, niggas, y'all guys are out here doing some of the gayest shit, and people don't know where the fuck the shit comes from. Dude, your pants are sagging. Like, y'all niggas know what that shit means. No, in many cases I do. I'm gonna just do it. Like, he's doing it probably because the record label wants him to do it. But man, like.
That's part.
That's just that shit coming from prison.
He owes the label that. He owes the label to walk around with his ass out to show them that they're fucking him. He's giving his ass up to the record label. That's what's happening.
From the state pen, bro. The state pen.
Nigga.
Like the state pen is, bro. Look, I'm sitting here and I'm watching rap videos, and all of a sudden it's got a whole different fucking vibe of rap. And the rap is making me look at my phone like it just fucking pissed on me.
The dress shit was wild.
Bro, I don't know how to fucking... But, bro, we're talking about dress shit. No, these guys are here relating rape stories and how they got away with it. He's like, put some grease on your finger and put it in your asshole. Because if you don't, we about to punch you. We about to do this. So he refused to do it. So I punched him in his face, and he kept refusing to do it. So two more people punched him in his face, and then he kicked him in the balls, and then he started doing it. And then, listen, this shit got real, bro. I'm at the claps video button. Like, why is this happening? Like, it's that. Why? Stop. And then they interject, because I think they know the natural mind wants to turn this off. So they interject with some more rap music. normal rap music either, bro. Like, this rap music sounds soft, but they talking hard. Like, why is this happening? I don't know, bro. It was not cool, bro. Like, I did not like that shit at all.
Yeah,
bro.
Unacceptable.
How do you think you guys would do in prison? Like prison.
Bro, check your gain.
Dude,
your gain has gone up significantly.
It went up, maybe. I don't know, dude. I would do probably the first day. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get in solitary confinement. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Dude, what do you mean? Why is that? Listen, if people who are perfectly capable, like soldiers who do wrong things, die in general population. I'm not trying to be out in a yard where I can't see shit. No, dude. The first chance I get, I'm gonna attack a guard. I'm gonna piss on the floor.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make myself throw up. I'm gonna
Why not?
Whatever I have to do to get in solitary confinement, I'm gonna get in solitary.
So you're gonna do like
there.
what they say to do, the whole typical, like, try to be the craziest fucking person you can, so that way you
1000%,
dude. Worse than that, though. Worse than that, dude. I'm gonna try to set a fire. You don't understand, G. I'm gonna make up some shit that just makes them like, yo, this nigga should not be around anybody. Get him out of here. Trust nobody.
You think your sanity can handle the solitary confinement? Like,
yes.
Okay.
I would, and here's the thing. Not only do I think it,
bullshit.
Hell yeah, but here's the thing. Not only I would rather put my sanity at risk rather than my physicality. I'm not trying to have to deal with anything that I've seen in these videos.
Right, low-key, dog. I'm not trying to fight. I'm not trying to get into any bullshit. I
kind of feel like Tom. I kind of feel like Tom Dubois from the Boondocks when it comes to prison, bro. Like I'm not trying to do that shit, man. Like, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that, like,
I'm not Takashi though. I'm not snitching. So if I have to go to prison,
I watch a lot of that shit. And I can only imagine, like, obviously the question I'm asking, I mean, what we could say, cited or not cited, whatever, however you want to phrase that question. But, like, I'm always curious about that, man. As a blind person or disabled person, like, you're not gonna get treated any differently. Like, what?
But you know who to ask though. Because I've always wondered about blind people in prison too. Like, I know that blind people have gone to prison, and not just a few.
For
of them.
sure, facts.
Well, probably a few in comparison, but not a few like 3, 4, 5, or 6. Blind people have gone to prison. So one of the most notable people who have been to prison who is totally blind that I can think of is Little Hacker. I'd be very interested to know like what that was like for him. You don't know about Little Hacker back in the phone freak days, back when hacking.
What the fuck Little Hacker is.
All right, let me give you a brief. Hacking started on the phone. Hacking didn't start on the computer. So back in those days, social engineering and having devices attached to your phone jacks and all this other shit was the way you hacked into shit. And that's what he did. And a lot of what he did was threatening prosecutors, threatening FBI agents, making people believe shit that wasn't actually true, sending SWAT teams to people's houses and shit just by like calling and changing his voice. He could change his voice to match dial tones, and he could do all types of really wild shit like that. Now, here's the thing. He ended up in prison for breaking laws. And I think he might have ended up in prison twice. I can't remember. Either way, he served some time as a totally blind person. My whole thing is, how did that turn out for you? Like, what was it like on the inside? Who did you have to pay? Did you pay anybody? Did you become as they call it, a boy? Like, were you in solitary confinement? Did you get raped a couple times and then you learned how to fight? Like, what was the outcome of your time on the inside?
You'd have to learn how to fight, right? Like, you can't.
I don't know about that.
Not know.
I know.
How to fight.
I've heard of quite a few people who've actually just paid their way through. You know, they had the money, they had the cigarettes, they had the currency to get themselves through. You know, but you have to have that. You have to have something. You know, but people who have nothing, they usually end up giving up their asshole. Videos are saying these days.
No, you make through. You come up with the niggas though. You start cooking. You know what I mean? You start making meals. You start becoming the dope ass chef. You become the barber. You become the nigga that starts cutting all the niggas' hair in the fucking. Just make people like you. Like do a service like you, for niggas, and then you get your protection and they'll fuck with you.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you remember, Martin Lawrence.
Excuse me. I want to see what this is. I YouTube this little hacker, and it came up an interview with blind hacker, Lil Hacker.
Oh shit! It's an interview.
I'm not sure that this is it.
This is gonna be reactionary. Idea. This is gonna be fun.
We're not gonna listen to this whole thing. I don't think it's 20 minutes. But
let's listen to the whole thing. Why not?
Let's see what happens. We'll play the shit.
It comes with Blue Point
Podcast. What do you want to know, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Turn it up a bit.
Yeah. What do you know?
How can I pass OECP?
What do you want to know?
Try harder. No.
That is one of the most annoying things that people say.
Look.
This could be a complete lie. I don't have any clue what.
This could be a hit record.
It's been years since I heard it. It's been years since I heard his voice, but I might be able to.
We're back. Money Flock's here. Remember, I told you guys I was gonna be doing some interviews with some InfoSec cybersecurity people. I happen to have one here with me today.
I think this dude's just blinded.
Hold on.
He shares my passion for sharing information, sharing knowledge about InfoSec material topics, penetration testing. He has his own Twitch channel. He streams once a week. This dude is actually a pen tester.
There was an edit right there.
Industry, so 10 or so years, and he's actually legit. So I'm bringing to you guys a legit real hacker.
How old is he?
Thank you for joining us, Blind Hacker, aka Joe B. Appreciate you coming.
Absolutely.
No, that's not him.
First things first.
No, that's not him.
That is not him. No.
Blind Hacker, aka Joe B.
I love this game.
Whoever that
nigga put 2% milk in his cereal.
Shout out.
I love this game. I love this game.
A bowl of Fruit Loops. That nigga needed to clear his throat real quick.
Thank you. I was just gonna say, was he gay or straight? The host. Gay or straight. I love this game.
Bro.
Oh, that nigga talked with his hand movements made me tired. Okay, I'm exhausted. I'm a little worn out.
That nigga's neck was loose as shit.
That's too funny.
Damn.
Let's do this shit. You guys want to hear this shit? Out of Des Moines?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I love this fucking story. Let me just turn this down so I can fucking read properly. Family's basement floods with 5 inches of animal blood.
What?
How?
Animal blood?
This shit bugged my mind out. Nick Listina and his family had lived next door to Dahl's Custom Meat Locker in Bagley, Iowa. For 10 years without issue, but they were getting ready to sell the home, and their basement was flooded with animal blood. Many of the belongings in the basement were destroyed, including a bed that they were saving for their 1-year-old son. I was shocked at first, but then I had a pretty good idea of where it came from, Listina said. Listina says his neighbors were dumping hog and cattle remains down a floor drain, which is connected to his pipes, so the remains ended up in his basement. He immediately reported the incident to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. Nobody wants to see that, smell that. I wouldn't want anybody to have that in their house, Listina said. Officials confirmed that the substance was in Listina's basement was animal blood, fat, and bones. Animal blood, fat, and bones. I'm sorry about that. And the DNR contacted the Iowa Department of the Health due to potential health hazard. They told us concurrently we shouldn't stay in the house because of biohazards, Listina said. The department recommended the family of 7 live somewhere else while the house is cleaned. Listina said that the meat locker has been non-compliant in helping cover any costs They haven't reached out at all. They haven't taken any accountability for it. They say it's not their fault, and they told me good luck if I want to do anything with it. It's on my dime and my schedule.
Oh, fuck that! I'm suing the shit out of them.
Right, dude. Right. So listen,
and not good luck, because that fucking state Department of Health is gonna come at your ass and shut you down. So
not only that, but
that can't be legit to just dump it down the drain.
First of all, I don't know how they're going to keep their license going forward.
Yeah.
This is going to be crazy going forward. I don't know how they're going to, but I believe that was said before the story. You know how stories kind of gain legs now. It's posted about on Facebook, and then pictures are posted, and then that post goes viral. I think that's kind of what happened here, because he said that, and then the co-owner reached out. The Meat Locker have since apologized for the ordeal and are planning on paying for the cleanup. We're taking responsibility. It wasn't our fault. We didn't intentionally put the blood down there. We didn't want this to happen. We feel for them. This is such a dick response. I wanted to bring this story up for two things. Imagine finding blood and bones in your basement. And then, you know, the people responsible not taking accountability, even when they do apologize for it, it's kind of like a fuck you, kind of wasn't our fault, but since you kind of made us look like dicks, we now have to take care for it, right? It's kind of, it's just, I don't know, man. This
I mean,
wild.
that can't be. Yeah, no, fuck that, dude. You're gonna pay me. Fuck you, pay me, bitch. Like,
hey, yo, look.
Give me my money. Pay for my damages,
Can
or
you fucking
buy my
imagine?
house and fucking use that shit as your storage from now on. Cause no, fuck you.
Can you imagine
taking
if
you
that
down.
was like the bunker that the kids were being stored in, and all of a sudden the blood just starts coming in?
Yeah.
Yo, all of a sudden, like, Dad, there's some fucking red shit, yo. It's coming from the walls.
Lap up,
Is that the apocalypse,
Drink
yo?
up.
The Russians are trying to flood us out. That's nuclear material. Just ignore it. It'll be leaving soon.
Yeah, don't worry.
But it
don't
smells
worry.
like
That was
poop.
Kim Jong-un and his cronies.
That was They didn't have actual nuclear material after all. They were sending in motherfucking cow liquid. That's menstruated blood, bro. North Korea's finest. Hey, yo,
that
Adam,
wasn't
check
mommy this time.
No, not this time, bro.
Not this time.
I know she's got a wide set vagina and a heavy flow, but nigga, this is something else. This is something altogether different.
She's past 44. It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, she passed 44 5 years ago, nigga. Oh, jeez. Hey, listen. I forwarded we could react to. Look at our group message. Cue some of that shit up. That shit is crack. But while you do that, what about this shit right here, where there's a cop who pretty much says if it's old enough to talk, it's old enough to have sex.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what this cop is saying, bro. And apparently
A cop said that shit? That's not okay.
Yeah, a cop said it. Not only did the cop say it, he's not going to have to register to be, as a sexual offender. Because that's he pretty
Why?
much
Because he hasn't committed an act that we know of.
Nah, dude, I feel like it's more of that thin blue line horse shit. Because he was in court, and that's kind of where he said this retarded shit.
If somebody heard any man say that on the street, he would automatically have to apply to be a sex offender.
Or at least go in for a fucking head check. I mean, this guy.
No,
right
but I'm
here,
saying, like, that's the thing. I think he would be expected to, I think he would be expected to. A guy as a police officer, man, this fucking shit is crazy.
It's nuts, bro. It's fucking Looney Tunes. Man, bro, like I don't know what we're coming to, man. But this shit, somebody's got to say something, do something. I don't know why it's okay if you wear a uniform, that you can get away with things that no one else can. You know what I mean? Like, and again, and we're not talking about speeding,
bro.
We're not talking about speeding. We're talking about violating our children's safety.
All right, so let's get into the deep shit then. 2 things. Do you remember that story we told you about the woman that was the female cop, the former female cop?
She accidentally shot somebody in their own house.
Accidentally shot.
Yeah, I remember that idea.
So we told you she got 10 years.
10 years.
Okay, she'll got 10 fucking years, and with a parole of 5. All right, listen to me, brother. The motherfucker, the key witness, the neighbor who lived across the way and heard what happened and who testified, was shot in the fucking mouth after her sentencing.
Whoa, wait, say that again?
He pulled up, was getting out of his car when he arrived home, and he was shot in the mouth. And they barely talked about it. And so we all know that was the fucking police department. That was one of her cop friends that I think was coming back for revenge for opening his fucking mouth. Nobody
knows who shot the guy?
Nobody knows who shot the guy.
See, it's again, I feel it, bro.
They drove away in a marked car. Do you see this shit? Do you see? He was a young black man, dude, innocent as shit, just got out of his fucking car. And he got shot in the fucking mouth. And does that say something to you? Doesn't that signify a message?
Bro, listen, I'm telling you, it's like right around the time that the dude in New Louisiana and then Philando Castillo's hit, bro, another one of those Texas incidents is on its way.
That cop shit is about to happen,
it's about to happen again. G, it's going to be open season on these people, and it's not the fault of good cops. It's not the fault of good cops. It's shit like this.
So same district, same police department, almost, I believe. Did you hear the story this past week?
Police charged with manslaughter and chokehold death. Sorry, I was reading a headline. No, what happened? Wait, you talking about the
woman that was accidentally shot in her home?
Yeah, by the SWAT team and shit.
My nigga, did you see the fucking the body cam video?
It's just getting worse, bro. It's just getting worse.
Did you see it? They were whispering. And when he shot,
I mean, was there anything? What did we hear? What they said?
No, we couldn't make out what they were saying. But it's just unfucking real, bro. Unfucking real.
I've got this queued up here. The officer, a 30-year-old named Jacob Ryan Delgado, accepted a plea deal that'll have him serve only 5 years probation and not have him register as a sex. Not have him register as a sex offender. He faces 20 years. The girl who's 14 years old, and she pretty much admitted that she gave him oral sex on school property. We might have a call though.
Jesus,
let's take.
Christ!
I'm telling you. Look, it's a real fucking.
Wait. 20 years, huh?
He might face 20 years, but right now the plea deal has him facing 5 years probation.
Oh my fucking God, the ease. The fucking ease.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the phone lines real quick.
Jump to the phone lines.
The shit they get away with.
And then we'll transition to some more police shit, but on a lighter note.
Oh
Brando
my God.
has some funny 911 calls, so we'll.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll talk about that here in a
okay.
second.
Yeah, this shit is funny as fuck. That shit.
Yo, y'all comfortably poor.
Hey, it's Hayel.
Hayel, how are you?
Hayel, how's it going?
La Dominicana, coño, hasta la tambora.
The ass eater. She's the ass eater.
She's the ass eater,
Oh,
baby.
is she
Danny,
that's the one who licks ass.
You brought up you brought up a subject that I was waiting for you to bring up, and I was going to call about this, about the Amber Geiger case.
Oh my God, this white devil bitch.
The ex.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard about this. You mentioned that the Josh Brown, the neighbor to the fellow who got shot, he got shot in the mouth. Well, I don't know if you know this, but the family specifically said they want the Dallas Police Department to recruit them. What is the word? Basically, they want them to not investigate it. They want like the FBI or the Texas Rangers, or even that.
Because the Dallas police are behind it, probably.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they wanted the police
crooked.
refuse themselves from the case.
Because the Dallas
investigated.
Probably. Fucking Adam.
So
Them niggas
absolutely
is
fucking
crooked,
shit.
yo. Hayel,
And you're down
So
there in
what-
Texas, right?
she's from
You're
Dallas.
Texas,
So
Hayel?
what do you?
Oh shit, she's from Dallas. Okay.
So have you ever had any run-ins with the police over there, or anything?
I have, but not directly for me. I had some issues, like, my brother's ex-wife she's pretty psycho, and she called the cops a few times.
All ex-wives are.
My brother was accused of some pretty serious shit at one point, and he had to go to anger management
Oh shit.
for like 2 years, anger management group therapy, because he kept calling and telling the cops that he was hitting her, even though he was not.
Ex-vagina's a
and I'm
scam.
not saying that as his sister. He's just not a hitter. Some men are just not hitters, and he wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
And so she kept saying that he was hitting her, and the cops were like, "Well, fuck this shit. We're taking you to anger management." So just shit like that, just family shit. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're okay. They're okay guys that I've seen, but I've also seen some pretty interesting stuff. I've been to the darkest places of Dallas and some really shady places at night, and I've been to some of the worst neighborhoods in Dallas, and I've seen cops just lining the block all the way around.
Oh, that's Jersey. Shout out to Patterson, man. Where I'm from,
Yeah,
that happens a lot there too.
I have one question. So, do you feel like cops are, for the most part, good? Do you think they're, for the most part, bad? Do you think it depends where you are? Like, do you think there's money involved? Like, how do you feel about law enforcement as a whole?
Okay, there's definitely money involved, because you will always see the better police departments in the better parts of Dallas. This is any city you live in. If you're in the rich area, you're gonna get some better cop business. You know what I mean? You're gonna get better surveillance. You're gonna get these pretty little signs that says we get taken care of, and those signs that go around HOA neighborhoods. Those people, they pay. You have to pay the department to get those signs, to get better surveillance. So if you want the good stuff, you gotta shell out that money. You gotta take it out. Now, I'm not saying that all the cops in the bad neighborhoods are bad. I'm just saying that sometimes shit rubs off on you. You can't help it. stuff happens around you, and you either have to learn how to ignore it or you survive. And the way to survive is sometimes to go shady. And that's the unfortunate part. I mean, that's just me talking, but
it's true.
Yeah, it's really
but
true.
yeah, it's interesting.
I always tell people, like, there was a study done, and in New York, it was actually done in New York. It wasn't all over the country, but it was a study done in New York. Black cops are more prone to shoot black people than white cops are. 2 out of 3 times more likely to shoot black people. Yes. 2 out of times more
there's
likely.
Fear in their own communities. There's fear in their own communities. That's exactly what it comes down to.
And there was another one
nervous.
done. There was another one done, and I think this was done in Florida. Law enforcement are 50% more likely to go after Latin drug people involved in narcotics and stuff than white or black cops are.
I wonder why that is.
Because we know what it is. I think it's because we know where we come from. I think we know what the problem is. Like, and that's not, and I say that in a sort of tongue in cheek way, but I think it's a real thing. Like, if you know, like, and this is something I want everyone listening. I say this with all sincerity. We need more black cops. We need more Latin cops. A lot of this happens, I think, because there is in a lot of areas there is a lack of diversity on the police force. When if all you're locking up and all you're arresting are black and brown people, then the black and brown person who's doing nothing looks a lot like the person that you just put away 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
And the person you put away 2 weeks ago, you got him on camera shooting at people. You got him on camera selling coke. You got him on camera pushing somebody off a bridge. You know this guy is doing wrong. Like, it's a fact. He's admitted.
Yeah,
but the person that you're pulling over and the person that you think is, you can't prove it, but you automatically assume and jump to this conclusion. Because an FBI person said pretty much exactly what I'm saying. And I like that he said that, because it was the most honest that I've ever heard a law enforcement officer be. That person that I put away looks so much like a lot of the people that I am actually charged to protect. And it's very hard sometimes to distinguish, especially when you're in a crime-ridden neighborhood. Sorry, go ahead.
That's very true.
But I had a thought, though. Well, how do you know that? Because we all know, especially if we're city kids. I grew up in Dallas. I was born in the hood. How do you know? Because we know this happens. The people getting paid under the table, especially cops. It happens a lot. And it doesn't make them exactly dirty cops, but it makes them shady, for sure. But how do you know? Because I've heard this happening, that this person getting shot didn't tell the cop, especially if it's somebody... gangster who has a little reputation, saying, you shoot, if anything happens, I'll give you money. You shoot me, kill me, I'm not going to jail.
Wait a minute. What? Like
say that again? I want to hear that one more time.
A criminal trying to bribe?
I've heard of this happening before, where some people, even as young as my high school years, ages ago, they told me, my cousin, he's a gangster, he told the cop that, he'd rather the cop shoot him because he doesn't want to go to jail. He wants to go to the hospital and maybe get killed, or maybe, and I've heard this happening in other countries too. It happened to a family member of mine. So
I think there's some truth to that to an extent.
Probably to a degree.
We see people have these kind of reactions to police officers when they are in standoffs and things like that. Now, more often than not, these are mentally unstable people that are like, just fucking kill me, just shoot me. But there's probably some people out there that are definitely truly believe that. They're completely sane, but would rather kill them than go spend time in prison.
But most of the diehard gangster, and don't get me wrong, like especially like if you've got money, if you got the money to be like, yo, I want to go to the hospital, just shoot me. But that doesn't mean you're not going to jail if you. I guess you would have to kill the person, right? Like, yeah, just shoot me in the head, bro. You know, but more often than not, those people probably have a lot to lose. Like, that's probably their third strike. They're probably about to go to prison for a long time, like a long 25 to life sort of shit. Like, so just shoot me and pop me in the head, bro. Get it over with, because I don't want to. Because exactly for the same reason that we just laid out, dude. I don't want to go to big boy butt pounding jail. That's not what we're trying to do here. So yeah, just shoot me in the head and get it over with. But a lot of those same guys, though, I mean, a lot of them would rather just shoot it out with the cops. Especially you're talking in Texas, dude. You're in Dallas, so that's probably the northern Texas. So, but a lot of the people like Mexicans, a lot of the Mexicans would rather shoot it out with the cops and just go south across the border. I've heard
Yo, have you seen those Mexican shootouts on fucking YouTube?
Yo, oh my God.
Down, nigga.
They get down. Yo, military.
Yo, Americans look like pussies. The street niggas look so much tougher than the fucking military.
Who are related to women who have been abducted. Like, oh, I'm going to steal your girlfriend because she's so pretty, and and then that's how they shoot out, like over a woman or over just...
Shit, that's what I said in my next one. I'm going to steal your girl because she's so pretty.
But I'm going to be real with you, dude. Like, a lot of people try to make it sound like it's something small to say, got into a fight over a girl, or you got into a shootout over a girl. Bro, that's somebody's mom. That's somebody's daughter. That's the love of somebody's life. And I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, I will get into a shootout over a girl I care about. And it might be any number of women. It might be my sister. It might be my mom. It might be a person I'm fucking. But either way, yeah, I'm going to die for mine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. A lot of people don't seem to realize you. Yeah, fuck y'all.
I know.
I'll kill every last one of y'all niggas.
I know a story of a woman who she was out with her family, with her husband and her kids. And there was the leader of a drug gang who happened to be at the same restaurant.
Local cartel.
This happened just across the border. And so he was hanging out, and he saw this woman, and he thought that she was absolutely beautiful. And he told his men, he's like, you know what? I want that woman. Now, there wasn't a shootout over there, but he said, I want this woman. You find a way, you take her, because I want her. And so one of the guys, he had the attacks of the ghost. So he pretended like he was going to do what his boss was going to tell him to do. So he said, okay. So he was the one assigned to follow this woman to make sure, he was the one to make sure that she actually got abducted. So these two guys, they abducted her, and this other guy was like, the third guy, the guy who had the attacks of the ghost, he followed them to make sure that the deed was being done. And instead, he followed them to where the abduction location, where the drop-off place was to be. And he killed those two guys, and he brought the woman back to her family. And he's like, you know what? Get the fuck out of the country. You leave. Don't come back. And that's what happened. They left the country. They went to Texas. And yeah.
That's some savage shit.
That's some Mexican shit, dude, for real. Like, bro, listen, let me be honest, bro. Like, I mean, movies are movies, shit is shit, fun times, jokes. Bro, look, what's going on in Mexico, what's going on in Chicago, look, that shit is fucked up, bro. That is some really fucked up, inhumane garbage that is going on, bro. Like, get away from these places if you can, bro. Learn how to fight. Learn how to defend your family. That people wonder why I do what I do. This is why I've dedicated my life to knowing how to fight wars, learning how to teaching people the art of war. Because in this day and age, you need to know it. You don't know when your number's going to get pulled, and you don't know how it's going to get pulled. And that woman was lucky, but how many women are that lucky? I would say probably the majority of them aren't. Definitely the majority of them aren't. Like, it's a real...
Oh, shit. Go ahead, Brando.
Protect yourselves, protect your family, man.
Sucks!
Yeah, you're not a good Opie, Adam.
I think that's my internet on my side. It just disconnected.
Internet.
Yeah. But the call
all
was
had
done
internet
anyway,
problems today. It
pretty
must be something's going on. So I think the government's behind this bullshit. We've all had fucking internet problems. This is some bullshit.
Such agency.
You fucking... My internet went out that one time.
You got the 911 calls queued up?
Yeah, all right. I'm just gonna.
Hayal. Thank you so much for calling in.
For sure. Sorry.
We truly appreciate it. We're sorry that happened. We are genuinely very, very sorry.
Yeah, you brought up.
Thank you for the stories. Thank you. I mean, that's
the story was really fucking dope.
The story was epic, bro. I want some make some pussy now.
Yeah, no.
Good shit.
All right. Yeah, let's go here. Let me. All right. So Brando sent over these. Some 911 calls. I think these are supposed to be funny calls. Is there any particular one you wanted me to play, Brando, or just gonna?
No, I just picked through them. Yeah.
All right. So last week we listened to the dude from Michigan who was overdosing on pot brownies. Like an idiot.
Fucking dumb bitch. That dude ate a whole fucking thing of brownies, my G. That nigga.
Yo, he came on the call praying to God.
This might be a regular segment. We'll pick through and play a couple funny 911 calls every week.
Yeah.
All right, let me see what we got here.
He said, "Pray the Lord, my soul to take, if I should die before." Hello, please send rescue.
Hello, send rescue.
This can't be for real. This can't be for real. This is Paradise PD. My dong is in the sinkhole. All right, let's see.
Yo.
No, don't turn the switch on.
What's your emergency?
Yeah, so I need a cleanup service and a doctor or whatever.
Sir, are you injured?
I think so, but I can't really tell what's left.
What's left of what?
My wife was in the bathroom, so I figured I'd just go in the sink, and I slipped on my own piss, caught my dong in the sinkhole. I tried to hit the dang switch, but the dispose out turned on.
Wait, what?
No,
I just ground up my
Wait, what?
Are you serious?
I just ground up my own dick.
Oh my God.
The disposal has disposed my dick all over the walls.
Sir, help is on the way.
Oh, man. It's
Wait, what are we? Wait, is this real?
This
cannot be real.
Oh, man, it's like a slip aside from help. I'm passing out.
No, this has to be a prank call, my G.
That's hilarious. He said it looked like a Tasmanian.
Here. I was wondering how much trouble you could get in for meth.
And you've called the police to ask how illegal meth is?
Well, yeah, I figured if anyone would know, it'd be you
These are
guys.
all prank calls.
Is this Darnell Bickham's of Cherrywood Road?
No, Darnell's not here right now. Can I take a message?
The police are on their way, Darnell.
Ah, shit, nuts. I mean, yeah, that's fine, because nothing's wrong here except me just cooking some meth. Ah, double nuts, I said it again.
What? Darnell.
All right, it was great talking to you.
This one's a prank. This one's a prank.
911, what's your emergency?
I have knife hands.
Excuse me?
I looked down, and my hands were knives.
Your hands are knives?
Yeah.
Can you put the knives down?
No, they're my hands. I don't want knife hands. I can't cut my cat. I can't high-five anything.
It's okay, sir.
I can't high-five anything.
Chef, just chop, chop, chop my whole life. Nothing but chopping. No, chop that.
How did you call 911?
I called on my phone.
And how did you dial the number?
With my fingers.
Okay, where are your fingers?
On my hands. Oh, God, you're back. Oh, thank you. Oh, my God, look at them. I love you.
No,
Sharon, you're an angel.
I am not.
That's what an
I am
angel
not.
would say. Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
If acid is
Thank you,
really messing with me. Oh, boy, now my feet are knives.
Wow.
911, what's
Yo,
your emergency?
that's some good acid.
Somebody broke into my house in my living room.
Okay, stay where you are. We're going to send someone over right now.
Hell, I'm investigating.
You do not have to do that.
Oh, this ain't no man, it's a dog. And I hate dogs.
If there's a dog, it could be rabid. Do not approach it.
I'm approaching the rabbit dog now.
Do not approach the dog.
It's a labradoodle.
Do not approach the dog.
It's coming up to me now.
Sir, get out of the room.
The dog is in my face. He's kissing me. Oh, this is very nice. And now I like dogs.
So is everything okay?
Oh, yeah, it is very okay. I'm getting kissed by a dog. I think I'll name him Gregory.
Okay, great. May I ask, how did the dog enter your house?
Well, I installed the doggy door last week. It's a puppy want to come on in.
Goodbye, sir.
What? Dude. This is
Some
so
people. What is this one?
Dude.
This says funniest 911 call ever.
911 emergency response.
Oh, this is gonna be a fake one too.
Excuse me? A dick? I'm at 42 Pine Crescent and there's a dick here. A dick as in detective? As in schlong. It's right here on the ground.
Schlong.
Tired or something. Sure it's real? Yeah.
This is schlong.
It's real. Is there anyone else around you, sir? No, but I don't want anyone to show up and find me here kicking it.
Yeah, some of those are funny. We can save some of those for later. All right, I say we wrap this shit up, fellas. It was good. Another good live show.
Check your gain real quick.
Yep.
And I just want to give a shout out to
Oh shit.
I just want to give a shout out to to a Lakers fan who.
Fuck the Lakers.
Fuck.
Hold on, stop. I'm not talking about you and your fucking.
Wasn't that Shaq?
Who you saw? Listen, I want to give a shout out to a Lakers fan that raised $43,000.
Oh.
What reason?
Okay.
For Stand With Hong Kong shirts at the season opener.
What? Why is that good?
Now, I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just saying, man, however you got to make your hustle.
Oh shit! If
Do
he's
the
a
thing.
Laker-
43,000 is a lot of money.
He's a Laker fan. He's just a fan,
Yes.
dude.
Well, it's all because LeBron James said some shit about China and Hong Kong and basketball, and there's this big thing going on between the NBA and China and stuff. And so it was just a.
LeBron's not gonna fuck any Chinese women, so.
And then quickly to wrap up the police stuff today, the other story that I had saved for us was there's a police officer who pushed off of a teenager off of a roof in Florida.
Oh, I thought you meant pushed off, like was in her and then pushed off her.
Yeah.
Pushed off.
But,
He finished and pushed off.
pushed the teenager off of a roof after the sergeant told him to do so. So that's what's happening in the police forces in Florida today. Catching you up in American law
let me
enforcement.
say one quick thing though. Like, we don't want to shit on police all the time. Because only because I do have a couple friends that are police, and there are good police officers out there. But fuck you to the ones that are fucked up, and fuck you to the ones who you think you get all this power just because you wear a badge. Like, you don't deserve to be a police officer. So respect.
I didn't know about
and
bad
big shout out to the
police.
ones who do it right.
I didn't know about bad police until the internet. I'll be honest with you. The police officers that I knew growing up were always like good people. They were known in the community as like heroes, and you know what I'm saying, like people who did good shit.
Honestly, so when it comes to law enforcement, I'm very conservative. I love law enforcement. I've never really had a problem with police, but I've always known that this element exists in the police force, and I've always known that the police that are good and the police obviously that are bad don't seem to want to admit it. And I have a really big problem with that because in each law enforcement, I work with law enforcement. I do my best to raise money for them, especially in places like Chicago where they don't seem to be getting enough money. Look, when you have a bad element, and every culture has an element, subculture, you have to do something about it because it begins to taint the good part, bro. Like, there's a reason you cut cancer out, you know, and I think if the more you ignore it and the more you let it sit there and fester, the worse the problem becomes, and then you have Texas. I don't want another Texas.
All right, listen, guys.
We'll end it on the good notes right there.
I love it. Hey,
like,
CP
share,
Pod
subscribe,
100.
do all that kind of shit. Yes,
baby.
please
CP Pod 100 all over Twitter, and that's also our Anchor page. We're gonna definitely start getting Instagram popping really soon. I'm gonna start working on that. I want to work on putting memes up there and fucking getting that popping.
If you're somebody who's listened later and you listened all the way to the end and you want to comment on anything, like Dan said, at CP Pod 100 on the social, or 442-244-9900, or toll free 844-997-0775. You can leave messages and let us know your thoughts about anything we talked about today.
Comfortablypoor.com. We're also looking for more bloggers if you want to be involved. If you want to talk to us, we'll talk to you. Talk to us for a couple hours. Let's sit down and bullshit. Shoot the shit. Just email us, inbox@comfortablypoor.com, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching this week.
Yes.